No problem. Oh, and I see that they asked some questions in your
Yes.
post already.
There we go. All right, we are live, and I'm going to go ahead and share this into the group. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the power lunch break, or what I also will call the power what you call it? The midday snack. So I'm going to go ahead and share this a couple of places, and um, Iris, I will tag you in my post as well, so you have it. I'm so excited to talk to my girl Iris coming. She is calling in from Chi-Town. But yeah, give us about a minute or so and we will go live. Okay. Okay, you did find it. Okay, cool. All right. All right, welcome everyone to the Coach's Kitchen. Today's title is Against the Odds from Cancer Survivor to Multi-Million Dollar CEO. But anyway, this is the Coach's Kitchen. And, this is where breakthrough is always on the burner. I'm your host, Leslie Nicole, life strategist, empowerment coach, and your favorite soul chef. This is where ambitious women like you come to unpack what's simmering beneath the surface. And today we're doing it during lunch or your snack time, depending on where in the US you are tuning in from. Because this right here on the Coach's Kitchen, it's not fast food healing. It's the slow, sacred work that sticks. So pull up a seat, bring your whole self, and let's stir up something real. So, what does it take to turn pain into purpose and purpose into a multi-million dollar family dynasty? Well, today's Power Lunch Midday episode, I'm talking to a woman whose life and leadership exemplify resilience, renewal, and reinvention at the absolute highest level. From battling stage 4 colon cancer to founding Chicago Integrated Health and its expanding family of companies, Iris Nichole Patterson, y'all give it up for Iris. She has demonstrated what is possible when faith, vision, and discipline converge. Her journey shows that you can build people and profit at the same time. And more importantly, you can build a legacy that endures. So Iris, she's a certified holistic nutritionist, certified health and wellness coach, credentialed through the American Fitness Professionals Association. This is a bad girl, y'all. She's the president and founder of Chicago Integrated Health. It's a lifestyle management practice that integrates nutrition, mental health therapy, massage therapy, and fitness to combat anxiety, depression, and chronic lifestyle diseases. I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking. Iris, where you at? Where you at? I gotta talk to you. There you go, girl. Hey! I feel like I'm yelling at you through the screen. How are you
Right.
doing
That was a
today?
wonderful intro. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am so excited that you are joining us from Chi-Town.
Yes. Born and raised.
Born and raised. I am here for it. Well, let's go ahead and start. Why don't we just dive right in? Why don't we
Hmm.
dive right in? I would love to know. When people hear multi-million dollar family dynasty, that is a long, like,
Yeah.
phrase there. They see the success. But
Hmm.
before all of that, who is Iris? How would you introduce the woman behind all of these titles?
So before all of that, yeah. So I'm a woman that was born in Inglewood. I was
Okay.
16 and pregnant. She's my one and only child that I gave birth to. We have a blended family now because I have another daughter that John came in with. But I was born from teen parents. They were 17 and 15 years old. And
Okay.
when I say that we didn't have much of anything, we did not. I didn't even have dresser drawers. Like it
Mhm.
was eight of us to a two-bedroom apartment. Granny, grandpa, my aunt, my first cousin, which is her son, my dad, mom, and myself and Aaron lived in one bedroom. My
Wow.
aunt lived in on a let-out couch in the living room. Granny and grandpa had the other bedroom, and we were on 63rd Honorary Street in a two flat.
Okay.
I was charged to iron the clothes and fold them up and put them back in the trash bag for us to, pull from whenever we wanted to get ready. So it goes all the way back there. And then, but when I see how far we've come today,
Yes, Lord.
where, I'm just grateful because God had truly blessed us. I feel like He chose me to be the
Mhm.
family member that
Mhm.
leveled up my whole family. And
Yeah.
now we own a conglomerate. We own three clinics, no, four, because we just went inside of a school and it emerged into this multi-million dollar organization. I always knew that we would make it out the mud, but life is really great today.
Hmm. Hmm. So how long did it take you to like develop Chicago Integrated Health?
Honestly, so entrepreneurship is not something that necessarily ran in family. I mean, it kind of did. Granny
Uh-huh.
sold chicken dinners like, at my grade school, and she was making ends meet. My grandfather, he was working for the steel mill.
Uh-huh.
And then he went to the post office, but when he was laid off, they made it work, eating bags of potatoes throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? But my granny had this different grind about her where grandpa
Mhm.
was a breadwinner. He could go out and park cars, make money, from day to day. And granny,
Mhm.
like, I'm your help me. I
Mm.
also, I can paint Jesus pictures and sell them to the churches, which is what she did. So thinking back, I learned that it was just something in me
Yeah.
that just would not fold and say, this is just going to be my life. We go
Right.
struggle or whatever. And so I learned how to be an entrepreneur first, actually, back when it's self-employed. I'm a licensed clinical massage therapist.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've been there for 15 years, carrying a table, hustling all over the city of Chicago in the snow and the sleet or whatever. Yesterday, I would have been in the trenches, like, going to get a client and making some money, putting them on my table. But I knew from that I had to do something different.
Right.
That's a lot of work on my body. And one day I woke up and had the signs of rheumatoid arthritis in my hands. And I knew
Mm.
that I couldn't live that way and work that way
Mhm.
forever.
Yeah.
So one of the prayers that I had prayed to God was, help me to use my mind to make money and not my body.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until the pandemic hit. And by this time, I had Iris Botanicals,
Mhm.
where I created this natural hair care line that went into Whole Foods and sourcing, containers and everything was an issue because
Mhm.
of the pandemic. And I'm like, God said it's time to use your mind. And
Mhm.
it was because of the changing times when it came to buying hair care products and the world shutting down. I couldn't go out and do massage. I had to go back to the drawing board. I'm usually someone that sit and cry for about a good 20, 30 minutes.
And
And
that's
then I
it.
said, okay, what we gonna do? So
That's
God was
so you
like,
20, 30 minutes, and I might be 20, 30 days, but that's a
yeah.
subject for another day. Subject for another day. But go ahead.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm going back to this drawing board because I would go lay on my back in the bed or on the floor or whatever and
Uh-huh.
just sit in silence because that happened in my clinic too one
Mhm.
day. I went in the meditation room, laid on my back, cried, and I said, "Okay, it's time to get up. What we gonna
Mm,
do?" And so that's when I got my certification as a nutritionist. I've
mm,
been in love with health and wellness for years. That's been my lifestyle. And so God said, "It's time for you to launch the idea I already put in you that you've been so afraid to launch. I've been telling you for about a year. It's time. It's time." And so
mm.
Chicago Integrated Health was birthed in the middle of the pandemic when I couldn't do anything else. Like,
That's what happened.
that's what happened.
Okay. Okay.
When I talk about traveling to do massages, some of my clients lived in high rises and apartment complexes and condominiums where the HOAs would say only the people who live here can come in and out. You
Right.
can't have visitors. So
Right.
my most elite clients who can afford to pay me even when the world shut down, they were saying, "Iris, we can't let you in here,"
Yeah. Yeah.
So that happened, and then I couldn't find jars for Iris Botanicals. I couldn't find bottles. The amount of bottles that they wanted me to source from like China was in the thousands, but I had no place to store this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, can't do that either.
Yeah.
So what do I do now? And so I pitched to my mother, who is a licensed psychotherapist. And I said, I've been studying how my modality and your modality both support the client in a way where they can feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And what if we partnered and you provide the counseling, I provide the nutrition component to
Mm-hmm.
help people pull out of the depression, pull out of the grief, pull out of loneliness, and all of this other stuff that was happening during the pandemic. And she said, "You're onto something. I'm listening." And so from there, we created a model that only the two of us worked at the time.
Yeah.
And we were doing everything telemedicine. By that time, Governor Pritzker, said, "Hey, telemedicine is here to stay,"
Mm-hmm.
because the insurance companies were saying, "You can't really have telemedicine. We want you to go into the office." But then when the world shut down, they created this modifier, 95, or it's always been in place, but they allowed you to use it more.
Yeah.
So we were able to provide therapy through telemedicine.
Now, what year
We
was this? Because this is 2025 and COVID was only
Now
5 years
this
ago.
is 2020 at this point.
Okay. Okay.
This is year 2020. And this is the start of Chicago Integrated Health when my mother and I went ahead and decided to start supporting the clients together with
Mm-hmm.
nutrition coaching
Mm-hmm.
and with mental health counseling. Because by this time, I had started going to school I had went to school to be a certified holistic nutritionist, where
Mm-hmm.
we talk about food being medicine and you can eat your way into feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the start, that was the birth of Chicago Integrated Health in the middle of the pandemic.
So let me get this straight. You built a let's go back. You built a multi-million dollar business in five
Hmm. In 5 years, yes.
in 5 years. So when let me because people want to know. The people want to know when did it hit the $1 million mark?
It hit the $1 million mark in 4 years.
In 4 years. So that
So
was
in 3 years, we had surpassed. So the first year out the gate, and when I
uh-huh.
say the first year, I'm gonna say December of 2020 because we had like 10 clients in the month of December in 2020.
Okay.
We go January 2021, we figured out how to actually build their insurance because we didn't know how to
Okay.
do it. We were building the plane in the sky. And so January 2021 to December 2021, we made enough to have to file taxes.
Mhm.
I didn't
Mhm.
expect that because that didn't happen with Iris Botanicals. I didn't, when I created Iris Botanicals in 2016,
Mhm.
I didn't file taxes for about 2 years, 2.5 years. I didn't make enough,
Okay.
so
Okay.
now but when I say the second year is when we hit 100,000. The
Mhm.
third year we hit over 300,000. The fourth
Mhm.
year we hit 1.3 million. And today we're at 3.3 million.
Girl, bless you. That is amazing. So so one of our audience members, she actually asked, she said, what was the key turning point that took your business from surviving to scaling? So you just said, I didn't make enough to file taxes, but now you're at a point where, of course, you provide benefits, you have like a whole full-fledged business. So what
Yeah.
was the turning point?
It really rested in how did I want to serve the client. So I
Mhm.
was always client focused.
Mhm.
What's missing? What is it that they need? What is it? And I mean, in the healthcare space,
Yeah.
when you hear about, especially our people not being heard, not being acknowledged, the symptoms
Yeah.
are just, these are phantom symptoms. Just go home, take an aspirin kind of thing. But what I really honed in on
Mhm.
was the segment of clients that were Medicaid eligible families.
Okay.
So that was the key turning point because they are forgotten. There is a huge gap when it comes to access to quality health care. And so
Mhm.
the more that I studied what they didn't have and saw what we can support them in, what supplemental services that can we give in addition to them seeing their primary care,
Mhm.
but how can we provide preventative measures for our clients to be healthy, happy, and whole? What does that look like?
Mhm.
And because we were able to speak, the reason why we were able to speak to that is because my mother was on Medicaid and I was on
Mhm.
Medicaid at one point. So
Mhm.
we understood how we were treated, and we understood what the
Absolutely.
doctor's offices looked like that would actually take our insurance, and we understood not being able to find enough practitioners who would take our insurance. And
Mhm.
so what I did was I did something that not too many people did or do. I read the Medicaid manual. It's 252 pages.
You read the
I did
Medicaid.
because there was nobody to ask, how do
Girl.
you build this insurance? But in reading it, I saw the services that so many people don't have access to that's listed there, but they might not even have the practitioners to fill, the void. And so I knew what they would reimburse me for, but I
Mhm.
also understood what they won't. And so I had to figure out a formula. Personal training and massage therapy is not covered by Medicaid. Massage therapy is covered by private insurance, but personal training is not. They'll reimburse you for a gym membership at, Planet Fitness,
Yeah.
but they're not going to pay for personal training. I knew that for my personal trainers, I had to build up enough revenue to be able to put them on salary and
Mhm.
not make it a billable service per se, looking for reimbursement. But I was still able to provide access to personal training if you enroll, as a member using our mental health services. So it's like, I had to figure out what would make, and I know we've heard this 1,000 times, like, what's the irresistible offer? What makes you unique? Blah, 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 blah. But I had to do that to the max. And that meant I had to really dig deep and understand exactly what our demographic, the ones that I truly want to serve, is missing. And then I went hard to get them the put those pieces together and present it
Mhm.
to them and package it in a way that it made a wonderful experience every time they come to Chicago Integrated Health.
So you
And
determined the need first, and
mhm.
went and did something that most people won't do is go read a 250
Right.
page document that is not like literature. I mean,
Right, it's
geez.
not. It's very boring, but it's
Ah, girl, that is, I mean, that right there is it's a testament to show like, okay, you're listening. So I'm assuming I know you're a believer.
oh,
So
absolutely,
you
100%. Couldn't do it
so
without them.
So God just was just like, go read this 250-page document so that I can tell you how you about to scale this business.
He know how hungry I am. One of the qualities that I do admire about myself is that
Mhm,
when I'm fixated on something, I'm gonna make sure that I actually see it come to fruition. And it's only
mhm,
because I've been counted out so many times. I had to create my own opportunities,
mhm,
so I'm conditioned to doing that.
mhm,
And I can't, I obsess over my business ideas. Now, I will say that I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and so I credit a little bit of that, to that, the mania of seeing something
mhm,
happen. But I take that and use it as a strength. Of course, it's
mhm,
controlled, and I'm good. But I know that I am a true visionary,
yeah.
and I can't breathe. I'm a risk taker to the max where I would jump out of a window to see if I can land on my feet.
Mm,
And I have that kind of fearlessness. I'm willing to go the distance. I'm willing to push the limits,
mhm,
and a good a good story around that is we had to, because we when you make so much revenue,
mhm,
you get audited.
mhm,
And I had this model at this point that I built out. And I
mhm,
went as far as, when we wrote our notes, we put our model in
mhm.
that note.
Yeah.
Now, you know, because private insurance and Medicaid, it's a little rigid.
Mhm.
It don't allow for creativity. We didn't know if they would come back and say, "Girl, you ain't supposed to be doing it like that." You know what I'm saying? And most people will be afraid to tell them that this is our model and this is how our clients
Yeah.
spend time with us.
Right.
But when they came back, they said, okay.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
but many people will be like, oh my God, according to the rules. I'm
Right.
like, but according to the rules, it also states, so I'm like, I read beyond. And so I wanted to know if this will work.
Mhm.
This was a purely a curious mission to
Right.
see if I can create something that looked like this, because it's in my head, and I'm not going to stop to see if I can create it. But
Mhm.
more importantly, who I'm creating it for are the
Yeah.
families who are forgotten about.
Right. Now, one thing that you said on Facebook, or maybe it was Instagram, I think it was Facebook, about a month and a half ago, I snapped it. Is you
Yeah.
said, it seems many people think that because I'm at the top of my game that I don't feel pain when they blindside me. They
Yeah.
seem to think that money or success lessen the blow when it comes to heartbreak and betrayal. The higher I go, the more people leave me. I try to make sense of it all. After a few tears, I find my way back to smiling. That's that 20 to 30 minutes you just talked about.
Yes.
So, so who do you rely on for advice or mentorship at your level? Because you just talked about how people leave you. So who are you relying on?
So the word mentorship, let's stick with that, stay with that
Okay.
for a minute. So I have a advisor. Her name is
Mhm.
Megan. She don't look like us,
Mhm.
you know. And she's been advising me for the past almost 2 years. In fact, I got to email her back.
Megan,
But
she gonna email
she's
you. I promise.
right. And what she said to me about, I want to say a couple of months ago, she said, Iris, I don't think I can help you anymore. Like, you
Mm,
are at a place where I don't think I'm worth much anymore. And I said, that is not true, but I get
mhm.
what she's saying.
Yeah.
I've been through several business incubators.
Mhm.
I've been through Sunshine Enterprises. I've been through oh my God. Oh, the YWCA.
Okay.
I've been through Breed Love. I've been with them, and I feel like there's another one that I'm not mentioning. But I found that it's hard to find mentorship
Mm,
and advisors at this level.
yeah.
And and it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the businesses that I grew up with, and I say that in a way because entrepreneurs in Chicago, it's a tight circle.
Absolutely.
Um, Not many of them see $1 million
Hmm.
in its lifetime, or they might just they might stay at the six-figure realm or whatever, but they definitely don't see three.
Yeah.
So with her, it's like she was saying, how do I help a business that's constantly growing in revenue and they've surpassed the $1 million mark and they're multi-million dollar, that's where they are. You pretty much have everything in a bag, but that's not really true. I feel just as clueless as I did when I was
Mhm.
making $5, because $1 million businesses come with $1 million decisions. And I've never made $1 million decision before. And when I've made it, then it's now I'm making a multi-million-dollar decision. You
Right.
are like forever learning your trust. I go with gut at this point.
Yeah.
So I trust I read, I listen to ebooks.
Hmm.
I still keep my advisor
Hmm.
around.
Hmm.
Whatever she thinks she ain't, I think she
You
is.
think she is Megan?
So,
She appreciates you, Megan.
yeah, um, but it is lonely
Yeah.
because I have seven-figure problems
Hmm.
and there's not many people I can talk about the seven-figure problems with.
Yep.
And and six-figure problems is definitely different from seven-figure
Mhm.
problems. A, my staff told me yesterday or day before that it's like 53, 54 of them now. I've
Okay.
lost count. When I walk into the clinic, I don't sometimes don't even know who they are. And they definitely don't know who I am. My the personal trainer that was working out, who was just recently hired.
Mhm.
I was told that he was going to be on the site or whatever, and I just so happened to pop in and I waved and I said, "Hey." He said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm Iris, the owner." "Oh, how you doing?" I'm like, I said, "Hey, you ain't got to do
You ain't
all of
got to do
that.
all that.
You ain't got to do all of that." He was like, "It's so wonderful to meet you. I've been hurt." I'm like, and that happened like three times. I said, "I wish I had my meta glasses." That happened like three, four times when I went to the clinic,
That shows
but
how humble you are too, though.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
willing to be like, you're willing to talk to them as if they're,
yes,
say regular, but regular human beings, and not
yeah.
make yourself feel like or appear to be like this authority and figure and or which I mean, you built your business and you
But
deserve all the, the praises and the celebratory remarks. However, you're still able to talk to everyone. And that's one of the things that I just admire about you. Like the fact that you're real. You're honestly, I think you're a comedian on social media. You're a comedian, like, but I have been following you for years. And the fact that you just the way that you talk about culture and building staff and just treating them like they're a human being.
and that comes from being mistreated in
Mm,
the workspace most of my career
mm,
as a working citizen. Like, across the board. I don't understand what the obsession with being a mean or
mm.
boss or someone
Yeah.
that mistreats.
Yes.
Like, why? So, the culture that we created at Chicago Integrated Health was based on how badly I've been mistreated.
Mm,
I remember literally standing in the whatever job I had and
mhm.
saying, "I'm gonna make a mental note. I'm never gonna treat my people this way." I remember saying that so many times I've worked at TSA and I've had bosses to harass me
Yeah.
at TSA. I've worked when I was working as a massage therapist. I had a boss that put me in a position where she wanted me to do happy endings, just throwing me in there with a client who was expecting that. And I was so green. I was just fresh out of school and I ran. When I realized what was happening, I ran
Mm-hmm.
out crying,
Yeah.
and so I've had bosses that would say, you can spend time with your husband, but you're going to have to find coverage. And there was really nobody to ask. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you for time off over a month in advance. And it's something that you can easily, because you own the freaking clinic,
Yeah.
you can easily block out that day, but you're not, so, and basically saying it's our business. And then I say, you can have your business, have a good one, I quit. It's, I, and the biggest one, I was working at this agricultural company
Mm-hmm.
and it was predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, I understood all the things, what they were doing. Because when I interviewed, they looked, okay, you have a pretty face. There was a white woman that said that. We're going to put you at the front desk.
Oh,
And
wow. Thanks.
yeah. And I'm like, are you picking a slave? Okay. So, they put me at the front desk and they had me do the work of many. But
Mm-hmm.
then there was this position created that required that person to do the work I was doing presently. And so I said, I see a position that's been created for this. Can I apply so I can promote? And they ended up not even acknowledging that. Next thing I know, I'm checking white women in for interviews. They hired someone. I was looked over. And then they talked about how I spoke. They talked about, they made fun of so many different things. When I didn't understand things, they made fun of me. And I felt humiliated every single day. And it was a white man. When I finally left, it
Mm-hmm.
was my boss
Yeah.
said, I do know you were mistreated and I want to apologize. It wasn't me that was, he made me do it, talking about the president. And I'm
Oh,
like, you a whole punk. Now 44-year-old Iris like, you a little, you know what I'm saying? So why you ain't stick up for me? But at the time, 30-year-old Iris, oh, I understand,
yeah. Yeah.
but I remember all of those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So when I handle my staff, I handle them with care.
Yeah.
Even if you mess up, we make you write your own self up. You go and think about what you did and write it out. So,
Now
and they
that's
did their
different. I've
own,
never heard that one before.
yeah, they do their own performance improvement plan.
Okay.
And so, but we also let them know, hey, you need to perform,
Right.
but it's done in love. You're not
Mm-hmm.
humiliated,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, we have rare that's rare
Yeah.
because so many of them love to work there. What they say is, I get to work at Chicago Integrated Health. And I've never heard that before until I created this culture.
Mm-hmm.
But we allow them to spend time with family. We do not deny vacations. We pay them way above market.
Mm-hmm.
We do a check-in that asks, can you take care of yourself and your family? How are you feeling? We allow them to use we encourage them to use the services.
Mm-hmm.
We allow them to create their own schedules. The
Mm-hmm.
front desk even creates their own schedule. They work together to give
Mm-hmm.
each other time off.
Mm-hmm.
Our W-2 staff, they get to work from home as hybrid. Our independent contractors, we respect everything about an independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So our interns that come, they don't want to leave. So we make room for them. But
Mhm.
most importantly, our clients love them and they are ready to serve because the morale is high. So they're well rested. One of the things that I had said was, I know what the number one thing that can keep someone up at night is money.
Mhm.
So if I pay you well, then you'll go to sleep. And
Mhm.
then when you wake up in the morning, you're
Ready.
refreshed and you're ready to go in. If I respect you, you look forward to coming to work. Like they look forward to coming to work. I'm gonna tell you how connected I decided to be with my staff. Now I had a big office.
Mhm.
I gave it up and turned it into a therapy room. And I sit in a communal area with the rest of the staff when I come. We have a classroom. It's about um, 12, 16 chairs in there with desks and stuff, two
Mhm.
people to a desk. But we all sit together and we
Wow.
just have all just a good time. When we're there, we're always laughing. It's chill. I dress like them. I wear the hoodie. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I felt like that was the best way that I could show that I am not setting myself apart from you. I'm giving up my office to be with you.
Mhm.
And most importantly, what happens is our clients will even pop up even when they don't have no appointments and
Mhm.
just come hang out. So I just love everything about the culture that we created. It's called the Built to Breathe culture, and I am writing a book on
Love that. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here. Built to breathe.
it.
We'll be looking at that. Maybe you have to come on the show and tell us about that too. So you had talked about, you're doing, you were making $5 decisions back then. Now you're making multi-million-dollar decisions. So how do you define success now compared to when you started?
You know what?
Is it
How I
different?
define success is I've learned that it's not measured by the dollar amount that's in your checking account. You can have millions of dollars in
Right.
the account but still feel useless.
Hmm.
Still feel like you're not leaving your thumbprint in this world in a positive way, feel like you're not making an impact. The success that is built is by the impact that you make with people.
Yeah.
Positive. That's why our one of our agencies is called Positive Impact. The
Hmm.
positive. One of our clients who had Medicaid,
Hmm.
she emailed us. They emailed us and sent a new insurance card, and it was government private insurance.
Hmm.
So we took this client who was considered down and out,
Hmm.
poured into them, provided community, allowed them to heal. They
Hmm.
went back into the workforce, and now they're a government employee.
Hmm.
So not only did we change the numbers in the job market, but the
Right.
socioeconomic climate,
Right.
because now they're able to come off of Medicaid. We have staff members who were on Medicaid. They
Hmm.
came off of Medicaid. And
Hmm.
some of them, this is the first time they've ever had private insurance,
Hmm.
life insurance, short term disability, dental, vision. So that's where I measure my success. How many lives can I positively impact? Not how many Gucci bags I can buy. Because, baby, I can buy a Gucci bag. But who did I feed today?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's why I think if we really keep sight on that,
Mm.
we will be so proud of the impact that we are making and we will continue to make it. Our
Mm.
family is not exchanging Christmas gifts this year.
Mhm.
We are providing Christmases to families. We
Mhm.
all said that that's what we're going to do.
Mhm. And there's such a need for it right now too, with everything going on. Um, so let me ask you this: what's your number one priority in life right now? That's another
It,
audience question, by the
I
way.
know it needs to be my own health,
Hmm.
but I'm a philanthropist and we get caught up in taking care of other people.
Hmm.
But I'm a stage 4 colon cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna continue to call myself a survivor. I do still have to go to chemo,
Yeah.
so if people, what I love about God and how he's healed me, you would never be able to tell that I still go to chemo because I
Mm-hmm.
went to chemo Friday,
Mm-hmm.
so it is to take care of myself. The Built to Breathe, it relies with myself too.
Yeah.
Scheduling, really blocking off days where nobody can put anything on my calendar. My executive assistant would know not to put somebody there.
Right.
Spending time with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
That, things, moments like, and my grandson, even
Mm-hmm.
though I love my girls too, but my grandson,
It's,
so
it's different. It's different.
it's so different. They can't compare. So,
It's
but
different.
that's just the best time. And
Mm-hmm.
I value it so because I had to trade all of that time to make money. I
Yeah.
was always out. I remember being at a barbecue with my family, and a client said, "Hey, are you available today?" And I felt obligated to show up because I didn't think that they would book with me if I moved them. If I miss that money, will I get it again? But
Mm-hmm.
what answered that question for me was when I worked myself into the hospital some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They thought I had MS, but it was because I broke my body down doing massage. And I was in the hospital bed, and my clients was texting me, "Hey, you available today?" I'm like, "Well," so, and I said, "Hey, I'm in the hospital. I'm so sorry I can't make it, but I can send, tell a friend to come." They said, "Oh no, we'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
You'll wait." And that's
For
when I
you.
learned the
Mm-hmm.
world will wait. We make everything an emergency
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
prioritize so many things above our health, our
Mm-hmm.
time, our rest. And so it's rest for me. God told me this is your season of rest. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm learning
Yeah.
how to rest. I'm a
Yeah.
workaholic. And so this is what I'm spending time doing, learning how to rest.
Mm-hmm. So many women, and we're going to wrap up probably here in the next two questions, but many women, they want to do something. They're carrying like the real life burdens. They are feeling like, is it too late? They're overwhelmed. They're afraid to start. What would you say to that woman? And what kept you moving forward when you were spent and wanted to give up?
Oh Lord, I'll be wanting to throw in the towel at least every other week.
Well, okay. That's a real answer.
Yesterday, I was walking through down my hallway in my house. I'm like, I'm about to throw this all away. And it happens, and that's
Mhm.
normal, and it's okay. But what keep us from throwing in the towel is knowing that you were called to this. You
Mhm.
have everything you need to succeed,
Mhm.
and God chose you for it. So giving up on the dream is giving up on Him. But reinventing yourself is my most favorite thing to do, actually.
Mhm.
I've reinvented myself 47 different times. People were like, "So you gonna be a ash?"
47.
So
You kept track, girl.
I've been so many things, and it's so funny because and it's so funny because people on social media who was following my journey was trying to keep up because I was making exercise videos and I wasn't no personal trainer. They were like,
Mhm.
"So you a personal trainer now?" Oh, girl, no, I'm just making exercise videos. So it's fun for me to do that, and that's what I want people to tap into. Tap into the joy of reinventing yourself. You're getting to know yourself.
Mhm.
When I married John, I when we came back from our honeymoon, I said, "John, I've been living in survival mode for so long because it was just me focused on feeding my daughter, and I had to do things to bring food in the house, but I never got to know Iris.
Mhm.
Can I quit all of these ridiculous jobs and sit down and figure out who Iris is and what is it that she loved to do?"
Mhm.
And so that's what I would ask of you. If you're someone that you're trying to figure out what it is that I should be doing in this world, what is it that I can be doing in this world? It starts with figuring out who you are, what drives you, what make you jump out of bed, what make your heart skip a beat. Every time, because I know I'm a natural born philanthropist, every time I get the opportunity to help someone, feed a family or whatever, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
What is it that give you goosebumps
Yeah.
and make you passionate? Passionate for us was not being reimbursed by Medicaid for 3 years, but still
Mm,
serving the clients as if we were
mm,
taking a pay cut
mhm,
because we knew that that was the demographic that we were called to serve.
mm,
Now we're reimbursed, but will you do it for free? That question, that's a real thing because we
mhm,
were doing it for free.
mhm,
So, what changes do you want to bring about? And I think if you start there, you will start to discover why you were placed here and what he placed in you.
mm. So that's the key to thriving
It
versus
is.
surviving, knowing yourself and leaning into the calling.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm ready for your book, honey, because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so much to unpack, Iris, and I feel
Mhm.
like there could be a part two, three, four, and five. But I'm just saying. But I mean, you're a cancer survivor, yet started a business to really help other people, humans, um, just build upon their health and their wealth. And
We
I
got to
think,
talk about more one day down the line because I got to tell you about how I was running a business from the hospital bed fighting cancer, wondering if I should
girl,
close
what
it
business was
or keep
that?
it open. Yeah.
What business was that?
Chicago Integrated Health. When we had seven staff members, we had seven staff members by then. And I was wondering if I should close it or keep it open. My mom, who's my VP, and
Yeah.
my husband, who's my CFO, were fixated on me beating cancer in the hospital. They were sitting there beside me, but they couldn't run the business. I had my laptop and a little beanie cap on and sat in that hospital room for 21 days and run payroll and all of that. We got so
Girl.
much to talk about one day. You
The grit and resilience in you, though, like I feel like I just need to go hang up and go work on my business right now. And figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Um, But I thoroughly appreciate, and I've told you this offline, I'll tell you this online, but I really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and talk to my folks out here, your folks, just sharing just a tidbit of your life and just really encouraging women and men and whomever else is listening to just lean in. I think that's what I've gotten from this conversation is just to
Thank
really
you.
lean in, surrender, and go for it.
That's all. That's all you can do. And thank you so much for having me. Just being able to use my story
Yeah,
to encourage someone else, it lets me know that it wasn't all in vain. And
yeah,
as I continue to win against cancer and build this company and cultivate a life that serves, and it's all to give God the glory at the end of the
yeah,
day,
yeah.
but also to for His people.
Yeah,
So I'm grateful. Thank you for giving me a platform to
absolutely.
share.
You.
And if you ever want me back, I'll come back.
Okay, come on back. So how can people connect with you and your services? I know you have a something new on Facebook too. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah. So I do have a private group of subscribers as I give them the behind the scenes of how I run my company and answer questions, about questions like these,
Yeah.
and just provide guidance the best way I know how. But
Mhm.
you can follow us on Chicago Integrated Health on TikTok. We have pretty fun TikTok videos on there. And then Chicago Integrated Health on Facebook, across all platforms, actually, on Instagram and all of that. And then Iris Nicole Patterson is my private page, and that's where I have my private subscriber groups.
You're amazing, Iris. Again, just I'm very, very grateful that you said yes and came on and shared your story. So everyone, thanks for pulling us up a seat to the Coach's Kitchen. I think we've cooked up some great lunch and midday
Yeah.
snack today. If today's conversation stirred anything in you, I encourage you to share this episode and tag me at Leslie Nicole Speaks and tck.live on IG and let people know what's cooking. If you're ready to stop carrying the weight, if you're ready to lean in, I'd love to walk with you. Also, feel free to reach out to Iris. I'm sure she would love to walk with you if you're in the Chicagoland area. And then for myself, I offer one-on-one customized coaching, helping women find clarity, confidence, and courage to lean in. So remember, this is where wholeness gets cooked slow. It's not overnight, y'all, as you heard today. But your breakthrough is on the way. So until next time, stay bold and stay whole. And we will see you next time. Appreciate you coming in. And thank you again, Iris. I